Number 75, objections offer opportunities. Realize, folks, that we have a choice when we talk with a prospect at the end of our presentation. We can either talk about what we want to talk about, which is why they are going to go ahead, or we can talk about what they want to talk about, which is why they aren't going to go ahead. Now, which makes more sense? Of course, to talk about what we want to talk about, but 90% of us violate that common sense rule every day because we want to argue, fight, defend, and do battle with them. They don't want to be proven wrong.
In this follow-up, let's investigate further objections and why indeed they do offer opportunity. They offer the opportunity to keep your control. You've heard that word a lot throughout this series, and that's the secret of selling, is control. As an example, you could use the two-step formula, acknowledge and proceed, to your benefit whenever you hear an objection. If your prospect or customer says it costs too much, rather than say, well, why? I mean, what do you mean? Who's got control? They do, because they're talking about what they want to talk about, which is that they're not going to buy. Instead, if you simply acknowledge by using a cushion or a cushioning statement, I understand. I know how you feel. I can relate to that. I can have empathy with you on that. I know where you're coming from. Boy, I know how you feel. Boy, I heard that. Any one of dozens of different cushions or cushioning statements, and then proceed by stressing a benefit. So he says, well, it costs too much. You know, I can appreciate what you're saying. However, in the long run, I'm sure you'll find, as the rest of our clients have, and you go right on selling more of your product or service rather than talking about what they want to talk about, which is that they don't want to buy. In this seminar, we've talked about a two-step, a five-step, and an eight-step formula. Here's a new one for you. It's a three-step formula invented by a friend of mine, Ken Zolo. In fact, we call it the Zolo three-step. It's a neat little way to use some advanced techniques to work with objections. The first step is that you would agree with them. No matter what they say, you would say something like, you may be right. The second step is to use a takeaway by saying, like, well, this isn't for everyone. And then the third step is to go back and sell more. Of course, on the other hand, so it might flow like this. Well, I'm not really sure I want to go ahead with this. You may be right. This certainly isn't for everyone. However, on the other hand, our clients have found that this exciting opportunity provides them the type of returns that most people only dream about. So let's go ahead. Fair enough? You'll also notice a technique that we used, and that is to close or to confirm the answer. We'll be talking about it more later, but it's critically important to realize that every time you answer an objection, immediately close, trial close, or confirm the answer. If you just stop talking, all you have is conversation. And now, here's an assignment for you. Write out 3 different ways that you're going to handle an objection when you hear it. Whether you use a 2-step, a 3-step, 5-step, 8-step, I don't care what it is, but have 3 prepared responses and then be willing to practice, drill, rehearse them. In any product or service, you basically have 4, 5, or 6 basic objections, a couple of minor variations of each, but all you're ever going to hear. You can stay in the business for 50 years, and all you're ever going to have to put up with is 4, 5, or 6 basic objections standing between you and success. Write down those 4, 5, or 6 answers and come up with a minimum of 3 ways to handle each. Again, as with anything else new, this won't feel comfortable. None of these techniques will feel comfortable to you unless we make them a habit. Be willing to improvise, innovate, and then initiate these techniques to help you reach more of your full potential.